Special broadcast. The gold and silver price are exploding higher right now, today, June 2nd, 2025, right before our very eyes. I'm wondering why. I dug in. I think I have two big reasons, but a number of other very interesting reasons as to why we are seeing today unbelievable gains in the price of gold and silver. We also want to take a look at the silver chart because there is something super cool, super interesting that we want to pay attention to. We will have $60 silver by April of 2026. The way things are going, guys, we might even have it sooner. First, thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of the basement. It's a big deal. I want you to feel like you belong. You found a little home away from home because you have. Let's dig right in and start talking about the reasons why they are giving us that we have this unbelievable increase today in the gold and silver price. And first, we're going to go out to Kitco. They did an excellent job of covering what is happening today. First off, to start the day, we get gold and silver seeing solid price gains on safe haven demand. So let's dig into this. Gold prices are posting gains early U.S. trading Monday as safe haven demand, as trade tensions between the world's two largest economies are rising again, and a lower U.S. dollar index. We're going to look at that chart later as well, guys. It is looking very good for silver and gold world right now. Risk aversion is keener to start the trading week after President Trump over the weekend accused China of violating a recent trade deal. Trump also said the U.S. tariffs on steel and aluminum will be increased this week, reads the Barron's headline today. Quote, U.S.-China trade talks get ugly. Okay. Also, in other news, J.P. Morgan chief Jamie Dimon warned in a speech at an economic forum that, quote, you are going to see a crack in the bond market unless the U.S. takes steps to address its spiraling national debt. It's going to happen. So let's take a look right now. Okay, so we have major geopolitical issues between the United States and China, the trade, the tariff thing going on. We've got Jamie Dimon telling us that we're going to see a crack in the bond market. The bond market is multiples higher than the stock market. It would be devastating. And on top of that, guys, we've got a situation in Russia. There's too much for me to remember. I got to look at my notes. Okay, over the weekend, the Ukraine dealt a devastating blow to the Russian military, this crazy sneak attack, right? We have war going on in the world. The situation in the Middle East is not any better. But what happened over the weekend in Russia is a major deal as well. I think that that's one of the more major contributors to what we're seeing. However, what they're going to tell us is that it's because of trade tensions, tariff tensions with China. It's because of the bond market, right? This untenable situation we have in the United States with our debt level, but also we've got major geopolitical issues in Europe and in the Middle East. And most recently, this major attack by the Ukrainians on Russia, which was this crazy sneak attack, wiped out part of their nuclear bombing fleet. Really, really crazy stuff going on. But wait, there's more. Okay, more reasons why we're seeing this massive move up. And then we're going to go to the charts. But let's go to the next article. Again, Kitco did a great job covering this in real time this morning. This one comes from our friend Niels Christensen. We love Niels. Says gold price holding near session high. So gold went up this morning and then had another leg up as this ISM manufacturing PMI data came out. Just briefly here, gold prices are holding at sessions highs, continuing to attract fresh safe haven bids after U.S. manufacturing sector fell deeper into contraction territory. The ISM announced on Monday that its manufacturing PMI index dropped to 48.5% in May compared to the previous reading of 48.7. The headline number was weaker than expected as economists had anticipated a more neutral reading. The report also noted stubborn inflation pressures as well. So on top of what we already talked about, we're also dealing with an inflationary environment in the United States and and a contracting of the economy. What does that add up to? Come on, basement dwellers. We've been covering this for years, 2 years. I've been down here banging this table, talking about stagflation, ISM numbers down. Okay, that's showing a more stagnant or even recessionary economy. And we're getting more and more data showing us that inflation is not going down. And despite what Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent wants us all to believe, we know there are truly big inflationary pressures. That creates a stagflationary environment. There is nothing more fertile for the world, right, of gold and silver, non-fiat assets, than a stagflationary environment. Look no further than back to the 1970s when we saw unbelievable rises in the price of gold and silver. Let's go take a look at the silver chart in particular. The gold chart is just beautiful. We'll go to that, but let's go to the silver chart here and take a look at what it is showing us, because there is something very, very cool happening on the silver chart. Let's get the crayons out. This is a 1-year chart. Hold on here. There we go. Why is that not working? This is, there we go, a 1-year chart of silver. As you can see in the futures market right now, we are up $1.53 per ounce. But what we really want to pay attention to here, guys, is this right here. This line in the sand right about here, which is $35 per ounce. As you can see, right? Remember, we went up once and tried. We went up twice and tried. And does it look to you right here, that we are giving it a third shot right now? This could be the promised land for silver and gold. Gold, we'll look at gold next. But if we can get through this area right here, $35, we could be off to the races, because as we've looked at many times, let's get the crayons back out. This bears repeating. Oh, my crayons aren't, there we go. We're going to draw a straight line at 35 like we, no, we're not. Hold on here. We're having some technical difficulties. Hopefully you guys can see me and hear me right now. Let's try this again one more time and we'll move on. There we go. Nothing like watching the guy struggle, right? The struggle is real. But if we go out over the past year and draw that line, and this line, again, that's between 30 and 35. But if we draw another line, I mean, basically we've been consolidating. I'll leave it like that. Let's change the color. Let me just show you with a green swiggly line that over the last year, we have spent the majority of our time in that range. I'm telling you, anybody who wanted to sell, anybody who was Chicken Little, got out of the silver market and was replaced, generally speaking, by strong-handed people that really believe that silver needs to be $40, $50, $60 per ounce. Again, when we get third try above this, it could be party time for silver. Let's go look at the gold chart. And I saw something interesting on gold that I wanted to share with you. There we go. So if we look at gold, hold on here. That's a 1-day chart of the gold price. Let's do a 1 year on gold. Maybe a 6 month. Oh, wait a minute. Okay. Wow. So gold up $82 in the futures market. Do you see what I see? An inverse head and shoulders. It's there for real now. There's a shoulder. This is somebody standing on their head. There's the head and there's the shoulder. And that typically will end with a move up in that direction. Okay, what other reasons? So, again, right, we have the safe haven argument that they're giving us for why gold and silver are having this massive move up today. But on top of that, right, we know we have some bad economic data. We covered that. When we look at the chart, of silver. We know we've been consolidating. We know this is the third time that we're attempting to break through $35 per ounce for silver. I almost forgot. Look at this beauty. This is a 1 ounce silver coin from our friends at First Mint. That's worth $1 more today for this beautiful coin from the channel sponsor for gold and silver, First Mint. They're a Keith Newmark company. They're part of First Majestic Silver. First Mint is a mint in Nevada creating world-class silver bullion products. What's unique about them is they get all of their silver from First Majestic, right? First Majestic mines the silver in Mexico, ships it to Nevada where they create these products, and then it goes directly to you. These are unique products, absolutely beautiful. You can check them out at their website, firstmint.com. They have free shipping over $199. Great service, great selection. Again, they're part of First Majestic Silver, so you know they are a company you can trust, and they have a discount code, VIPRB. Think Ron's Basement, VIPRB. All right, guys, let's go take a look at the other quick reasons about what's going on. What other reasons why we have this massive move going on? If we look at gold, we know what's going on with China, massive gold imports. I think they set a record in April, it was like 3 times the previous month. Don't forget the big secret weapon coming this summer, Basel III. I think that's the end of July or July 1st, right around the corner, either way, right? Making gold a tier 1 asset. And then when we talk about silver, we haven't talked about this lately, basement dwellers, but let's not forget the world is devouring more and more silver than it's producing every single year. We have a silver deficit in an environment where there's been massive underinvestment in the silver mining sector. So these silver miners, think about this, right? The world is consuming more silver than it's producing, and there's been little investment on the production side. And as a super added bonus, right, when the price does go to $60 per ounce, which is just my prediction, I'm not a financial advisor, don't make any financial decisions based on what I'm saying, but when we're able to really see true price discovery for silver, there's been so little investment in silver mining that the people that already have the mines are going to be at a huge advantage, because it takes a decade to go from discovering silver all the way to having an operating mine. And it's a very difficult challenge, right? Let's look at the dollar. Oh, warning, before I forget, warning. What could throw some cold water on today, on this awesome day that we're seeing in the precious metals, is that Jerome Powell will be speaking here at 1 p.m. Eastern today. You may be watching a recording of this. We'll know how that played out. But Jerome Powell from the Federal Reserve will be giving a speech later today. The other major factor that we're keeping a close eye on is the dollar index. Let's go take a look at what is happening with the dollar index. And this is almost too good to be true, guys. Right now, we're seeing a dollar index below 100 and in the 98s. This will prove to be a massive, massive tailwind for the gold and silver price because of one thing and one thing only, and that is we got a long way further down that we can fall. And granted, this is comparing all the fiat currencies to each other. But as you can see on this long-term chart, all the way back to 1985, right, most of the time the dollar index stood at a level below 100. And what I love to show you on every live stream, well, at least once a week anyway, is this right here. If we go back to 2001 all the way through 2011, you can see the dollar index started up here and ended down here, was in a bear market. And that was a period of time where we experienced unbelievable returns in silver and gold. Silver, for instance, during that period, during that 10-year period, the last time we had the dollar index drop like that, silver went from $5 an ounce all the way up to $50 per ounce. I'd also like to say thank you to channel sponsor First Mining Gold. They're also sponsoring my gold and silver content. That's a stock that I've owned for many years. They are a gold development stage company with two massive multi-million ounce projects in Canada. Okay. They've got the Spring Pole project in Ontario and the Du Parquet project in Quebec. The gold's already been drilled, already been defined. It's massive amounts of gold in the ground. They're in the development stage right now, which can offer some exciting catalysts. And guys, there just aren't a lot of big, major, big, I'm talking millions of ounces of gold development stage projects in Canada. If you want more information, you can reach out to Paul Morris, their Director of Investor Relations, Paul at firstmininggold.com. Thank you for being part. I almost forgot, subscribe. We got almost 400 people here at a spur of the moment. What a crazy day in the gold and silver market. Do you believe it's going to continue? I wholeheartedly believe. You know, I've been down here talking about investing in gold and silver for years. Silver in particular, right, is still in a position, the gold to silver ratio near 100, right, where it can move, and I mean slingshot move. Oh, I was going to tell you, please subscribe to the channel because I want you to come back, right? I want you to feel like you found a little home away from home, some silver and gold homies here in the basement. You're always welcome here. It's going to be fun to see how this plays out, not only in the coming weeks, not only in the coming months, but the coming years as well. Unfortunately, our leadership in the United States, recent leadership in the last decades, has put us in a situation where the dollar is pretty much up a creek without a paddle, right? We're in a lifeboat. It's called silver and gold and other non-fiat related investments. Some people are in crypto. That's great. But anything outside of that paper dollar, I think, is going to represent a safe harbor as we move through the next months, quarters, and years. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being part of the basement. You take care of yourself, and I'll look forward to seeing you soon.